You've heard the history, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard the history of this association. Time, I think, for a little bit of context for this conference. And given that we are in Rome, let's do as the Romans do. Let's begin with a bit of Latin. Quis custodiet ipsos custodes, with due deference to the Roman satirist Juvenal. Who looks after the lookers after? Who guards the guardians? Who watches over the watchman? I think this is a startlingly apposite piece of Latin for this association. Because you as relocation professionals, what is it that you do the whole time in your professional life? You look after other people. Who is looking after you? Quis custodiet ipsos custodes. And that is the thinking that lies behind the theme we have adopted for our conference today. The very, very ephemeral, elusive balance, that work-life balance, that very difficult equation that all of us are struggling to achieve. Now, those of you who were at this conference last year will remember that I made a keynote speech at that conference. And I was looking at my notes prior to coming to Rome from the conference that we were all at Lisbon last year, or most of us were at Lisbon last year. And it occurred to me that what is required of a relocation professional is constant delivery. How many people in life do we meet who do what they say they are going to do? How many people actually walk the talk? How often do we find that there is a dislocation between what people say and what they do? That so-called promise gap that drives the customer bonkers. You are people constantly required to deliver. And it's a very useful mnemonic, deliver. D-E-L-I-V-E-R. You have to have discipline. Not that I saw it this morning with a 20-minute delay in beginning the agenda, but you have to have discipline. The discipline to work within teams and to work between teams with various different disciplines, bringing them together in a team, which, as we all know, T-E-A-M, together, everyone achieving more. That's the number one thing you absolutely have to demonstrate as a relocation professional. E. You have to have that enthusiasm for the job, that passion, terribly overused word. I rather call it commitment. Because without that enthusiasm, without that passion, without that commitment, you're going to fall into that trap of complacency, which means second-rate service. L. You have to listen. As we all know as professionals in any business, but particularly in your business, you have to have those communication skills to get into the heads of the people with whom you are dealing so that you can deliver for them. D-E-L. I. Innovation. Finding different ways of doing things and yet within the discipline of all the regulations and rules that you have to comply with. That is what gives you the cutting edge, the competitive edge against the other people functioning in your space. V is for your values, and constantly I see this. It's all very well having values, terrific mission statements laminated on the boardroom wall, but unless every single member of your organization is living, breathing, demonstrating those values, they are as of nothing. So it's living those values and ensuring that everybody within your business is demonstrating those values to the customer, which gives you that competitive edge. E is for empathy. Truly understanding that you're often dealing with people who truly do not want to be moved around, and certainly even if they do, their families do not. That, a crucial, crucial, crucial element of your profession, and I have not been surprised that I meet here a lot of people who have been working in psychology, psychiatric nurses and teachers, that empathy that helps you understand and deliver to your customer. And the final R in my deliver mnemonic, risk-taking. Judicious risk-taking, moving those barriers, moving those heaven and earth issues sometimes to make sure that things are done pursuant to the requirements of your customer. Deliver. You are people who 24/7 are required to deliver, and it is exhausting. That is why this conference has been devoted to work-life balance. How are you going to find those systems, to implement those systems, to monitor those systems, constantly to be renewing those systems that take the weight off you so that you can continue to deliver to your customer? And that is what we are going to have a look at today.